Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Amber. Today we are going to be talking about my March wrap up. That feels weird to say. And my April TBR. So I'm going to start off talking about what my March TBR was, and then we'll go through all the ones that I actually read. So last month's TBR jar picked Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerri Maniscalco, which is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. Then it was Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. That's the second book in the Stolen Heir duology. Then What Monstrous Gods, which did come out on the 15th of March. Then it was Kingdom of the Feared, which is the third and final book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. And The Gilded Cage, which is by Lynette Noni and is the second book in the Prison Healer series. And Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, which just came out earlier this month also. Now on to the books that I actually read. Okay, so starting off, I started off with a book that wasn't on my TBR, and that was Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This is the first one in the Ice Planet Barbarians series. Now, I gave this one 3 stars, and was it 3 or was it 3.5? I think it was 3. I had a fun time reading it. I just didn't overly like it, and I didn't dislike it. It was good. If you're looking for that type of book, it's definitely one I would recommend. It was a fun read. It's just kind of the first book that I've read in that type of genre, and I really don't even know what genre you would classify that as. So it was a little bit different from what I'm used to. Not in a bad way, just I don't really know how I feel about it yet. I'm gonna continue the series because I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. I got a 3 stars. It was good. I did end up reading Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerri Maniscalco. Again, second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. This one I gave a flat 4 stars. I liked it better than the first book, but a very small amount more. I thought this one was more interesting. There was more that happened, but I definitely found myself getting bored while reading it. So there were a lot of points where I put the book down for a period of time, and I'd either read something else in that time, but I just couldn't find myself to stay invested throughout this whole thing. And I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to kind of immediately move into Kingdom of the Feared, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I needed to take a break, which I don't know if that was a good or bad thing. I feel like if I would have forced myself to read the next one, it wouldn't have been fair, and I would have gave it a worse rating than I feel like I would if I took a break. But now that I'm taking a break, I can't find myself to pick that book up. So I don't know. I'm very torn on this series because I like it, but I don't know how to describe it. I like Wrath's character, but I don't overly like his character. I don't really care for Amelia's character. I liked the direction that her character was going in this one, but in the first one, I kind of found her to be a little insufferable, if we're being honest. The fear that she should have had, the common sense, just none of it was there. She never really had a plan. She kind of just ran headfirst into the things she just expected to be saved. There was no logic behind what she was doing. It was kind of just I could go about this a smart way, but I'm not going to. And in the beginning of this one, I didn't really see much change in that. And I was starting to see it more towards the end. And the way that this one ended made me want to pick up the next one because I'm very curious as to how the dynamic's going to work. And I don't know. I like Wrath and Amelia, but their chemistry just doesn't really feel convincing to me. It doesn't really make much sense. I don't know. There's just a lot of things in here that I like, but then there's also parts of it that I'm just why? So it gets 4 stars. It's good. I don't know. Thinking back on it, I think I'd probably give the first book. I think I gave that 4 stars. I think I'd give the first book more of a 3 star and this one a 3.5. I feel I might have been a little too hasty in giving them both 4s because since reading that, I genuinely have not thought about that other than the times that I'm looking at my TBR and I see the names on there and then I'm oh yeah, I was reading that, wasn't I? So I don't know. I'll probably push myself to read the final one this month just so that I'm not forgetting things that happen and then just losing all interest, because there's still a part of me that is curious as to what's gonna happen in that. Next, I completely dropped off the face of the earth with my TBR, And so I read Bound by Ravens by Jessica Sundin, and this is part of like a collection. And when I was looking at it, it looks like they're by different authors. Like, there's multiple different authors making books in, like, this whole collection. And I think there's, like, 7 or 8 of them. But these are all on Kindle Unlimited also. This one, in particular, are about, like, 2 rival thieves that are in, like, rivaling guilds. End up getting tasked to retrieve, like, the same thing. And then they end up getting, like, bound in a bargain together, and so there's like forced proximity. I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe there was like only one bed. I don't know, it was good. It wasn't great. I gave that 3.5 stars. It was fun to read in the moment. It was really fast paced, so there were never any spots where it like got boring. But again, I just haven't thought about the book since I read it. Next up, I read Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, which is like a dark romance comedy about 2 serial killers who kill serial killers, and then they have like this weird chance encounter and meet each other, and then they become friends and start agreeing to every year they have like this little competition. And this got 4.5 stars. I had way too much fun reading this. It was not even remotely what I expected at all. And I think originally I gave this 4 stars, but I think I'd bump it up to a 4.5 because I genuinely haven't stopped thinking about this book. And as soon as I finish this, I pre-ordered the next one. If you have not picked this up yet and you like dark romance, I highly recommend picking this up. Definitely check the trigger warnings though. There's a lot of them, and there's some weird ones. And there were definitely parts in this book that get ya. So, overall though, can't recommend this enough. I had way too much fun reading it. Next up, I read Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. This is I feel like a broken record saying this because I've read this synopsis so many times. This one, you're following our main character is about to get married, and right before the wedding, she finds out that her fiancé cheated on her again, and so she hires somebody who is like a professional objector because her father, well, her soon-to-be father-in-law is her dad's boss, and she doesn't want to cause complications there by calling off the wedding herself. And then after the wedding gets like canceled, her and the professional objector start talking. She gets interested in his job, and then they start working together, and it was such a fun read. It was definitely a plot that I have never read about, and it was so interesting. There weren't any parts that I really got bored in it. I felt super invested in the characters, which not normal, and this definitely sent me into a spiral of wanting to read only romance books after this, which is not my typical genre that I read. So I gave it 4 stars. I don't know, I'm still torn even to now of 4 or 4.5 stars, because this is another book that I haven't stopped thinking about since I read it, and it makes me want to go and read all of Lynn Painter's other books, because this was the first one I read by her. But overall, really good book, really good story. Loved both the characters, didn't have any complaints about it. They had a really good banter, really good dialogue. Then I read The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Stolen Heir duology. I gave this 3 stars. Can't really say that I'm disappointed because I kind of went into it not really expecting to love it, because I really didn't love the first one. They're good, and I like the world of Elfheim, but I just don't really like Oak or Ren. They're okay. It just, like I've said previously, feels kind of like she was just trying to copy and paste the same dynamic of Jude and Cardan. And I loved the Cruel Prince trilogy so much. I constantly think about those books, and I always want to go back and do a reread of them. These ones, I know for a fact I'll never pick up again. I don't know. I just didn't really care about anything that was going on in the book. I kind of just read it just for the sake of reading it to know how it ended. I just didn't really care about anything before that. Oak just has like that same personality type as Cardan, of like the doesn't really care about anything but secretly does and is manipulative to get what he wants. I don't know. And Ren just reminded me of like a Fae version of Jude, but like not even close to being as great as Jude was. Like, I really liked Jude's character. I didn't like Ren. It just felt like a washed out version of her. It's one that I'd recommend if you like Elfheim a lot and you liked Oak's character, I would recommend it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it, you know? Let me reword that. If you asked me if you should read it, I would say go for it, because I feel like a lot of people might actually enjoy it. But if nobody asks me about it, I'm not going to recommend it. The final one is Flawless by Elsie Silver. I have not finished this yet, but it is only the 27th, and I am like 55% of the way through, so I expect to finish this by the end of the month. So editing me will put the star rating up here. But this one is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series, super popular cowboy romance. This one, you're following Rhett and Summer, and Rhett is a professional bull rider. Summer works for her dad's, what are they called? They're like, I don't remember the technical term. They're like Rhett's agent, so they do deal with all like the sponsorships and stuff and his media presence. So she works for her dad, and her dad ends up having her follow him, pretty much become the babysitter for 2 months to fix his image after he like ruins a bunch of the sponsorships by saying one thing. And yeah, I think there's an age gap too. It's not really like bluntly said, but I'm pretty sure they're like a 10-year age gap between them. I'll just read the top line because that's kind of what hooked me into reading this. The rules were simple: keep his hands off his agent's daughter and stay out of trouble, but now he's stuck with her. There's only one bed, and rules are made to be broken. It was really the only one bed that sold me, but I don't know, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm just not overly liking it, but I know that a lot of people say, which ones are they? I think it's Reckless and Hopeless are their favorites out of the whole series, so I am looking forward to getting to that one. And again, this one is kind of like a lot of the popular romances where like these are all based in the same world, but each one's following a different couple. So you don't really have to read every single one of them, but my brain won't let me just skip, so I know I'm going to read all of them. These are also all on Kindle. These are also all on Kindle Unlimited. But yeah, so far I'm liking it, just not overly loving it. But I am interested to get to the rest of them. Which one in the Flawless series? I need to know. Which book in the Flawless series, if you've read it, was your favorite? Onwards to April's. We are again using the TBR jar because I'm horrible at picking books, but I'm also as equally horrible at following my monthly TBRs, so this may be pointless. The first one is a book that's been on your TBR the longest. I'm gonna pick 6. A book that is over 500 pages. Of course I get that one. A book with vampires. A book set in a school/university. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We picked 2 more. Okay, well, I guess we'll go with these 2. Ooh, a dark romance book. I think I already know which one I'm going to pick for that one. Okay, I was hoping that I would get this one because I already know which one I'm reading for it, and it's a book with a cartoon cover. I already know which one I'm picking for that. Okay, let me grab these books. Okay, picked my books out. So, for a book that's been on my TBR the longest, I'm going with Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Soon Lin Tan. This one was on my books that I want to read for springtime. Basically, she is hidden away on the moon because the mom was exiled by the emperor for like stealing his elixir of life or whatever it was. Immortality elixir, something like that. And then her magic flares and she ends up having to flee and leave her mom behind. She ends up getting the opportunity to study alongside the emperor's son after she's like hidden her identity by going to this kingdom. And then it says, when treachery looms and forbidden magic threatens the kingdom, she must challenge the ruthless celestial emperor for her dream, striking a dangerous bargain in which she is torn between losing all she loves and plunging the realm into chaos. So that sounds super interesting, and every time I read the synopsis, it really makes me want to read it. So I'm picking this. I'm going to make myself read it. Plus, it was part of my spring TBR video that I just made. So then we have a book with vampires, which I'm picking Queen of Myth and Monsters, which is the second book in the Adrian Isolde series. The first one being King of Battle and Blood, which this one is like human. I think Isolde's a human, and then Adrian is a vampire, so fits perfectly. And it's another one where it's a series I'm in the middle of that I really want to finish. So then we have a dark romance book, and I'm picking There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I just picked this up not too long ago from Target, and this is on Kindle Unlimited. And honestly, I really don't know what these are about. I just see so many people love Sophie Lark, and I've only read one of her books, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I mean, I'm not going to base that off of just one book that I read by her, and I liked the covers of these. I have no clue what it's about, and honestly, I think I might go into this not knowing. Then, this may be cheating. I don't know. This one is a book that's set in a school/university. I'm picking The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood, because all I know is that she, the main character, is walking through campus and says that she has a boyfriend and kisses the first person that she sees, which ends up being Adam, which is a grumpy university professor. Yeah, she's a third-year PhD candidate. Okay. Fake dating, set in a university. This is my pick. Then my camera's about to die, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick. A book that is more than 500 pages. I'm picking When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Again, this is on Kindle Unlimited, which I'll probably read most of it on because this book is heavy. It is, okay, anyway, yeah, 690 pages, and this one says, the creators did not expect their beloved dragons to sail skyward upon their end, to curl into balls just beyond gravity's grip, glittering the sky with tombstones with moons. They certainly did not expect them to fall. As a valued elding blade of the rebellion group, I'm not even going to attempt to say that, Reeve's job is to kill, to complete orders and never get caught. When a renowned bounty hunter is employed by the Crown to capture a member of the Ath, Rave's world is turned upside down. Blood spills, heart breaks, and Rave finds herself at the mercy of the Guild of Nobles, a group of dual-beaded elementals who intend to turn her into a political statement. Only death will set her free. Crushed beneath a mourning weight, Han Vager took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now, on a tireless quest to assuage the never-ebbing ache in his chest, his hunt for a moonshard lures him into the belly of Gore's notorious prison, where he stumbles upon something that rips apart his perception of reality. A shackled miracle with eyes full of rage and blood on her hands. The echo of the past sings louder than the creators themselves, and even Reeve can't ignore the truths blaring at her from a warmer, happier time. However, there's more to the song than meets the eye, and some truths they're too poisonous to swallow. And then it says, When the Moon Hatched is a fast-paced fantasy romance for fans of witty banter and strong, sassy protagonists. Beneath the cover is an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. I have seen a couple people talk about this, not that many, but the people who I have seen talk about this said how amazing and good this book was. So I am very excited to get to this. I'm just a little intimidated, if we're being completely honest. But I do really like all the little art pieces on the page. You get a glossary right at the beginning, which I like. And I feel like I'm gonna need, because, to be honest, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Oh, the dedication page is so pretty looking. I was just gonna read this on my Kindle, but like after I saw some of the art that was in this book, I was like, yeah, I'm picking that book up no matter what, because the book itself is so pretty. So, oh, my last one. A book with a cartoon cover is going to end up being Funny Story by Emily Henry. That one comes out on April 23rd, so the end of the month. But that's going to be my cartoon cover one. We got 6 books for our TBR, which I think is good. I'm really hoping that this is the month that I finally actually stick to my TBR, because I did pick some good ones. The only thing that I know of that is going to keep me from really sticking to my TBR is going to be the fact that I started the Chestnut Spring series. I have a feeling I might go down the rabbit hole and just end up binging this whole entire series. I don't really know. I have a really bad habit of not sticking to them, and I'm really going to try to make this the month that, for once, I read every single book that I picked. Whether that's true or not, up for debate. We'll see at the end of April how I end up doing, because this last month I didn't do good. I read, I think, 3 out of the 6 or 7 that I picked, but I did read 7 books. 8 books. Is it 8? If I finish Flawless, is that 8? Or was it 7? I think it makes 7. I think it'll be 7 when I finish Flawless. Anyway, that's all I got for you. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know which of these books you've read, if you liked them. Which ones of these do you have that you want to read? I'm very curious. But anyway, if you like this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my future videos. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!